Hi, this is Andy Dubreuil. I've been asked by Dave Jones to do a small tutorial about Lightroom and some of the editing ways that I do things, especially within dodging and burning. When I'm taking photos, sometimes I do multiple images where I'm multi bracketing three at a time. So I'm going to look at this image here. If I just press the F key, we can see that the sun's quite bright, the sky is bright, the ground is quite dark, and then the second one it's even darker, and then the final one's a little bit brighter. So it takes from 1 stop to 3 stops basically. So I'm going to stick with this one. I'm going to develop, and I always have the blowout for the whites and blacks showing. So these little, where the cursor is up here, these little triangles will show you that information. So if I click on and off, you can see that. So my first thing I do with my images is that with the highlights, I bring that down, and I'm going to bring that to around about 70%. And then I take the shadows up. Let's bring that 55. I don't touch with the texture or clarity or anything like that. I then go to sharpening, and if you can use the option or control key, I'm using a Wacom Intuos Pro tablet with pen, so I've got some shortcut keys here to do this. So I go to the masking, and you can see it turns into like a black and white negative by pressing the control op key, and I just bring that down so that I lose a sort of bit of the graininess in the sky. You can see how much it gets blown out and then it comes down to a little bit clearer. So I'm going to take it at 50%, and then same with the noise reduction. Click on the luminous, and I take that around about sort of 9, 10, and that looks fine to me. Would then go down and do the lens correction and chromatic aberration. Not that we get that very much with lenses these days. I do make some slight changes within the luminous and saturation. So I'm going to bring minus, and you can see if I really bring the key down that it can get blown out on the image. So I'm not doing great deals, so I'm doing 4 on that. Again, the oranges are 4, yellows 3, bring the greens a little bit more, 10, the aqua 3, and then I take the sky. I don't like too blue a sky because it looks false, so I'm going to take it back a little bit. So I'm going to go +7, and then the purple and magenta, just bring that down slightly. There is a little bit of that in there. And then go to saturation and go the opposite direction. So again, I'm just going to adjust the reds, the yellow. There are only slight adjustments. Bring the greens a little bit more. Aqua. Take the blue back a bit. and the magentas. So that's all that I do within moving the sliders and so forth in this one image. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to press the shift key and take the 3 images and then sync, check all. And basically what it's doing is synchronizing the settings that I did on the first image onto the other 2 images. So if we just go up to the top here, you can see if I click on number 6, 76 and 77, they're all the same. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to merge all 3 images. This is going into right click and then photo merge into HDR. HDR has changed an awful lot over the years. It's not so sort of painted and what have you. I leave the deghost amount, go to medium. Let's wait for that to build the preview. And then merge the image. So we now have the HDR image, which I'm going to click on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click just for the purpose of showing the difference in the edit. I'm going to make a copy of this image, and I have to remember how we do this because I haven't done it for a while. Yeah, create a virtual copy. There we go. So there we go. This one is the virtual copy and this is the original. So I'm going to work on the original. If I just click in on this image now, you can see there's a bit of lens flare. I try very hard when I'm sort of doing my images and setting them up with the sun to not have this too much by using ND filters. So I'm going to use the what's called spot removal tool, and I'm going to just enlarge that slightly and just center over it. And what it does in Lightroom is actually take an area that is similar. Now it's taken from the side in the field that I really don't think that's going to match. So I'm going to drag that original and just adjust it. And just close, just check that out. Didn't look too bad. So I'm quite happy with that. So now we're going to do some dodging and burning. So I take the adjustment brush. So I'm going to go and I'm going to adjust the exposure. So we're going to burn first. So I'm going to bring down the exposure down to around about 40%. And what I'm doing is I'm going to paint over the dark areas. So for instance, this bit of sky, and some of these trees. Little shadow there. The field. Some of these tree heads. It's entirely up to you what you actually decide that you want to paint over. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a new, and then I'm going to take it the other way. So we're going to be dodging now, set it 40%, and just go over the lighter areas. So where there's frost is, just want to highlight that stream of light. The tops of the trees. Building head. Just clicking on the history. If you feel that you've gone too much, you can always go back and choose. But just close that down, gives me a little bit more room. Bring this house up a little bit more. And then just do a little bit on the clouds. Going to do another new. I'm just going to take this back down to 40% to burn. Do 41. Just want to add a little bit where the dark areas are on the clouds. And that's about it. So what I'm going to do now is just show you the before and after, and you go onto this little screen here, and we'll put them side by side. So there's the original, and this is the after. If we come out of that, can also go before and back to loop. That's the before, and that's the after. Just do F7, bring them up so you can see what it looks like. So that's how I do dodge and burning within Lightroom. It's not like you do in Photoshop. It's very, very different. Like I say, I use a tablet pen to do the sort of painting, because you are kind of, that's what you're doing, you're painting with a brush. If you're using a mouse, I mean, there are mouses that come a long way these days, so you might be able to get away with doing it, but play around, see what you can do. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If not, then okay. This will be on Dave Jones's website as a tutorial, and I'm see what comments, if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching.